Yo, 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 that sounds all good and all that, but let me ask you one thing. Does it have a Hemi? What's going on, prospectors? Dig Daddy out here in the shed bringing you another episode of Backyard Prospecting. And today for you, we have a gear review. I've been sitting on this one for a minute, but I finally got around. I got tired of looking at this box sitting up there on the shelf. And if you notice, if you're very perceptive, you already know what we're talking about. If you read the title of this video, you probably already know what we're talking about. And if you saw whatever, you probably already know what we're talking about. But here we are. We are going to be reviewing the Gold Pan XP's Gold Pan, the Z4. So this is the one that's got that little snaky pattern thing in the fine for the fine cleanup. We're going to be checking this out. Now it's a full kit. Comes with everything you need aside from a shovel to process your pay dirt, or to process your dirt from the ground, get it in, classified, pan it out. And I believe there's a snuffer bottle in here. Let's see if there's a contents here. Who knew? On the back. So what we're getting a 37 centimeter, or in America terms, 15-inch pan, which is our Z4, which means it has 4 zones of panifierific space for you to get that shiny. It also here comes with a classifier, a 37 centimeter, a 15-inch classifier. Looks like it's got a nice deep well, 10 millimeter mesh, so about 3/4 inch. The accessories that also are going to be in here is a couple little tubey things, mini tubes, a jeweler's loop, a vial, a pipette, and a snuffer bottle. So not too bad. I'm pretty sure this one only has the 15-inch, but there are some optional versions, I guess, of this kit, the premium kit, that also come with an 11-inch finishing pan and another 15-inch classifier that is 5 mesh, so half the size of the one that's in here. On the back, it mentions the Z4, 4 unique design zoning pan zones, and we'll read their descriptions on this. I'll see if I can find them somewhere on the web, and I'll put up a thing for you guys. But what we got are the four panning zones. The snake skin texture benefits the panning process, offers high efficiency when compared to conventional pans, ideal for tapping fine gold during the final finishing stage. So what they're saying is these little snakeskin-like impressions on the pan, little design they have, help the gold to find place to jump to when you're tapping the pan. So I can see how that might work. Give the gold a way to channel up as opposed to just sliding directly up. Maybe. I get their theory there, but we'll see how well it works. Then, of course, you got the large 90-degree riffles, which are the place where you're going to do the majority of your panning. Then we have mini riffles, which over time you'll come to never use. And then the sandy zone, which you'll use probably just to get rid of the fine sands when you're doing final and pretty cleanup for your gold, which you're probably never going to do out at the river anyways. So we're going to check this out. Pop this thing open and take a look. So hop on over and let's see what we got. All right. So we got our XP pan kit here, and let's pop it open. Not too bad. Flip it this way. Got my receipt from when I bought it. Now this pan cost me this kit cost me $34. 37 and 43 with some tax on there. But that was here at my local shop. I do definitely recommend, if you have a local shop, by all means, please support them. Buy your gear there. You're going to save on shipping. And it sucks when those local resources go away. So you definitely want to do what you can to keep them around. In the package, we have a gold panning step. So if you don't know what you're doing and you wanted to pick one of these up, it also teaches you how it works. Tells you how to pan for gold, gives you a little bit of the how-to of the inside edges of the river. Teach you where you look for the gold on different kinds of bends, where your gold's going to most likely be saturating at. Different types of effects to look in bedrock and other rock formations. You know, how the water will flow over it. Gives good examples there. So, you know what? As far as an initial gold panning kit, $30 ain't too bad. Gets you a nice pan. Classifier that fits perfectly with that. A lot of the little doodads that you might want to use, or actually will probably wind up using for your gold adventuring. That's not too bad. Not too bad. They explain why they use blue. It contrasts the most effectively against gold. So that's cool to see the science behind that and the logic behind why they go with the blue color pan. I'm down with it. And then of course they advertise some of their other offerings, which if you already got the kit, you may or may not need to get into the other stuff. Frankly, in my opinion, this is all you need, aside from a shovel, out at the river, to get it done and bring it home. So let's take a look at everything now. So we got our classifier. It's pretty well built, nice and sturdy. The thing I like seeing here is these little thumb depressions, which I'm sure that's what they're intended for, is when you're classifying. Most of your other classifiers, you don't have really anywhere to grip. It's just that top lip that you're messing with, or you're sliding around the edge. And you know, we all know the classifiers I'm talking about. You know, we all use them. They're the generic green ones that everybody has. But this is kind of nice. You got a good, comfortable spot to get a good swirl when you're classifying. I really like these little thumb spots. This is really good. And then when you're done classifying out, get back in one of those spots and you flip it out there with a lot more force. And it's just more comfortable on your hand. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting to give two shits about this classifier, but to be completely honest with you, I'm really digging it. You know, it's different. It's a little bit bigger. Let me grab one of the green. Couple of the other style that you'll often see. There. You got the green meshy ones that, you know, everybody has these things. There's a lip right here, but it's not comfortable on your hand, right? There's nowhere here for you to really get a good, comfortable one-handed grip or even a two-handed grip. When it's down in it, you only have this little lip edge to swirl on. That's your common one. And then you got like the Garrett style here, which is just basically a deep pan that has the butt cut out, or the bottom cut out. Again, you only have that top lip. It is nice because it slides into a larger pan, so it fits it, or on top of a bucket. The 5-gallon bucket fits around the lip. But again, there's no real intentional, comfortable spot for you to really grab onto. This classifier is dope. It's short enough that you can get your hand around it. It's got these little depressions to help you spin it, which makes a huge difference. And it's got a nice spot for you to grip it and toss your dirt out. So I gotta say, just the classifier itself, I'm kind of glad I did get the kit. Because in my head, when I was looking at this, I was kind of bitching to myself about how I gotta get the whole kit. I can't just get the pan. I only wanted to review the pan. I didn't want the kit because I got classifiers. But I'm gonna say I'm really glad that it worked out this way, because I'm in love with this thing. I haven't even ran anything through. I mean, I know it's gonna do its job. It's got plastic mesh that's gonna let 10mm pieces go through. Oh, thank you. But these kind of intentional design, man, that's nice. I'm seriously impressed with this, and I can't wait to get this out to the river to actually try out. We're probably not going to try it out here because the material I'm going to work with is already classified. But let's look at this little inclusion packet here. We'll get to the pan last because we're going to do a real review on that. But I just also wanted to look at some of the inclusions in on the kit here, because it's part of the kit, you know. It's part of that $34 that you're spending. So the snuffer bottle they include is not bad. It looks to be like a 4 ounce or so. Nice squeezable plastic. It's not too stiff. It's got a nice, really nice suction amount to it. I mean, that's pretty good. That means there's no leaks on the lid here, and they did a good job of fitting the straw. So, not bad. Not bad at all. I think I'll get one of my little koozies on it and try using this for a bit. They got a pipette. Now, the pipettes are cool because you can kind of take water and squirt and move gold around. You can even kind of use these to sucker up your gold. Personally, I don't use them very often. I prefer to just get it done with the snuffer. But if you got a specific little piece of gold that's fighting with you, you can kind of target it, whatever. Anyways, you get one of these. A little jeweler's loop. Looks like there's 2 lenses in it. Little magnifiers, so that when you find your gold, you can sit there and stare at it really hard with up close. You got 2 magnifications there. Big and big, big. Not too bad. I think they might be plastic though. I mean, overall, it feels kind of like a little cheapy toy, but the optics on them are actually pretty good. Let's look at something. So you can see the magnification, so you can look closer at that. And let's see how much more this one is. Like that. I don't know if this is picking up on too well on the... Oh, maybe it is. If I just held it still, right? There you go. Little magnifier. Not too bad. Cool to see. Cool to have. Oh, I see. So it's a 3, and if you hold them both together... Holy shit. It becomes a 6. Because, you know, that's how lenses work. You can stack them. I'm trying to get this lined up so you guys can see. Anyways, multiplies it at 6. So there's a 3, and a 6x. It says that, so, you know, it helps to read instructions instead of just opening things up and playing with them without looking at stuff. They have you on a very ambitious journey. And they're hoping you find a lot of gold because they give you a big freaking jar for your findings. Not too bad. It's like what? Like a 3-ounce jar? Yeah, you know, if you happen to find $6,000 worth of gold while you're panning. There, there you go. And then these little who's em a whatsers. Like I could see the use of the pipette with these. Maybe if you were saving like the sulfides or something. But I mean, personally, I like to transfer my gold as few times as possible, just to minimize the amount of chance that you're going to lose any of that flour gold. And so, like in my mind, like why would I want to go from this to this to this, you know, when I can just go from that to this to that? Anyways, too many little things, but again, if you have one of these in your pocket and, you know, it's probably hard to fill one of these from it, or maybe not, I don't know. Take the straw out. Whatever, it's just more tools. Are they necessary? Probably could do without these ones. They're cool though. If I find a little piece of gold, maybe I'll put them in here. But not too bad for inclusions. For extra stuff. It's all going to be functional. Maybe less so much the magnifier. But if you like looking at your gold like that, then there you go. And if you don't have one, now you have one. You got the kit. But the meat of the kit here is this pan. This pan is a 15-inch pan. Nicely built. I think it's a good ABS. I don't know. I didn't look it up, but I like the feel of it. It feels sturdy, but it doesn't feel like it's going to go brittle anytime soon. It's like a nylon or something. Anyways. Now, looking at the pan, we see the 4 zones that they were mentioning. You got your big riffles here. You got moved down to... These aren't even really small riffles now that I'm looking at them. These are more medium riffles. Not the really fine ones that you see on a lot of the cheaper pans. But actually, I kind of like these riffles. They're nice and deep. They're nice and deep. A lot of the small riffle pans that you see out there don't have nice deep riffles on the small. So you just don't really use them because, I mean, if you're going to go with that route, you might as well use the smooth side and clean that gold out. But when you're working with fine gold, this can be dangerous because your fine gold can slide out with it. So that's where this little snake skin should come into play, because it gives spaces for that fine gold to get stuck on. More opportunities to get stopped before it falls out of the pan. And that's really what your pan is all about, is provide as many opportunities to stop that gold from flowing out with the water and the tailings and the crap you're not trying to save. And, you know, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with the design of it. These riffles, the big riffles, they're not quite as deep as I'd like them to be. Nor are they as... Yeah, they're just not as deep. I like a nice, deep, big riffle because you can go a lot faster over that because your gold's going to drop down and going to stick there. And you can get rid of all that top-end tailings crap a lot faster. But overall, this is good. It's a nice pan. You can work with a good amount of material in here. Honestly, there's a nice texture already on the pan that makes me feel like, you know, you don't even need to really season this up a whole lot. Just let it happen naturally, because the material here, it's going to hold your gold anyways. It's got that velvety kind of feel to it. But a little bit of seasoning, I'm sure, will add to that. Not too bad, but the design overall is good. It's a nice solid pan. If you're buying your first kit, you know what? Skip all those little $20 cheapy Sand Sport kits and maybe spend a little bit more. It's $30, but I think you're going to get yourself a nice pan that's going to do you well for a long time. So let's find out how well that is. We're going to get a tub up here and throw a little bit of gold in some dirt. I got a gram of gold that I set aside here specifically for right now. and we're going to see how much of this we recover and how easy it is to move this material in the pan with gold in there and get that gold back. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. I'm going to reset up, set up the tub, and we're going to put this thing to the test. All right. Now, we got the pan all cleaned up. I took it inside, used a little bit of dish soap to degrease and get any mold release off of it. So we're making sure that we're... that's probably the most important thing you want to do when you get your new pan, is clean it with some sort of detergent. Get that mold release off of it, because that's what it takes to get these things out of the molds that they're made out of. And that residue can be slippery, because that's what it's intended for. But we got this all ready to go. Like I say, usage is going to season your pan. But some people like to pre-season anyways. Now, when I cleaned it up, I did use a sponge on the rough end. But essentially, that motion alone is going to season your pan. And you're going to be doing that all day long. So your first time through, just throw some heavy rocks in there and just shake it around a little bit extra. And then you can put your hand in there and squish it down if you like. Scrub it around. But there, the pan's seasoned. Throw a little bit of denser paydirt in there. Mix it all around. Boom, there you go. Now you have some nice river gravel. Just like you'd be dumping out at the river. Getting the bigger rocks out of there. And like I said, we're going to throw in a gram of gold. All right, there we go. Gold in the pan. A little bit of water in there. Mix it around. That gold is down on the floor now. I like the nice thick rim here with good finger space. They really took the time to consider the comfort of the person holding the device. And that's really important, because I've gotten some pans that are a great idea, but they are not really comfortable to hold. And if you're going to be panning all day long, you want something that you can hold that's not going to hurt your hand after an hour, because you're going to be out there more than that, you know. It's got nice steep walls so that the water's not splashing out of the pan, so you don't have to keep dipping in and refreshing. And that also means it's going to keep your workspace that much cleaner. No, I mean, if you're out at the river, it doesn't matter. Everything's wet anyways. But here in the shed, I don't want water everywhere if I'm panning. So having the nice tall walls here is good. Keeps things confined to the space where they need to be. Let's start dipping. All right. Now normally I'd probably keep going on those large riffles just because I'm pretty confident. Let's get these bigger rocks out of here. But let's try out the mediums. Let's just go the whole round, you know. Let's check everything out. We'll dip it out as we go. Now I would guess the snake skin would be the next step if you were using all four sides. Start shuffling everything over to there. Still holding on to a little bit of bigger pieces though. Hopefully this area will get rid of that. I just saw gold fly out of the pan. God damn it. So this is where I would say you're done. From this point, you want to back pan. That's the smart thing to do. You know, trying to clean up your gold out of the pan is kind of foolhardy. It's just not the way to do it. Because you need a lot more control over where the gold is, when it is. And gold likes to float a lot. It's weird, but it does that. So this is probably the point where like I say, you're going to want to switch over to back panning so that any gold that does do stupid shit like that stays in the pan. Get down. And this particular gold wants to do that. A little bit more dredge dry in there. But they are spot on with the contrast. Because this gold is just popping out. Man. I wish my brawn pan came in this color. Wish my brawn pan came in any color. And then things discontinued now. Gotta say though, it does have a nice, good working area, so the back pan was actually pretty nice to go through. Whoa. Now, let's try out their snuffer, which I do like the quality of this snuffer so far. It's got great suction. Look at all that. All that on one suck. All right. There we go. We'll get the cup. Alright, so I'm going to dump this out. We're going to cook it up and see what we see. Alright, welcome back. We got the gold all dried out. We're going to weigh out to see how much we wound up recovering of that gram. Now, I already panned out the tailings, and I know I did not get 100%. But for a first time pan out on a brand new pan, I'm feeling like I got a pretty good amount. So let's weigh it up. 1 gram on the dot is what it originally went in as. I guess I picked up a little bit more black sand than I'd like. But not too shabby either which way. I'd still got, I feel confident saying I got my gram back. Less a few flakes. Because like I say, there were some on the repan. Maybe you can see them, maybe you can't. But only like, about 8 flakes. Super light little ones too. So they probably floated out of the pan at one point, is what I'm guessing, because these ones really like to float, the ones that I did recover. And so I'm going to get those sucked up, add them back to this pile, and there's my gram. So not bad at all. Good recovery on that, and pretty decent pan. So I'm going to be right back here, and I'll give you my final words on the XP pan. All right, welcome back. So, what can I say? The XP pan kit, I should say, really nice kit. I was extremely impressed with, first off, the quality of the build material was great. None of it felt like it was cheaply built. The design on this classifier is phenomenal, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there and using it, which seems really weird to me. I've never been excited to go out and test out a classifier. So I am, and next time I go out, this is what I'm going to wind up taking out there with me. It's got a nice big classification surface, and some great features in it. The pan, some nice features here too. Less what they want you to focus on, and more what you should be focusing on is, again, it's a very sturdy built device. There's a nice thick lip around it. One of the things that I noticed about this kit is the pan fits into the classifier, and you can line up these little holes and put a bungee or something through them, so it makes it easier to carry. Maybe a clip of some sort. But they actually, they take time to make that a reinforced hole for you. Whereas even some of these nicer pans, it's just a drilled hole through the existing surface. These are thought out, and they're engineered to be reinforced. So that's really nice. They really took their time and thought out the design and build quality of these pans, and you can feel it. You can absolutely feel it. But I appreciate it. Mine, after that first use, is already well scored up, so I'd say it's seasoned in pretty good. I didn't like, actually, the big riffles quite as much as they could have been. Like I had mentioned, if they were deeper riffles, you could work that big material out of there faster. And that's what you want. You don't want to sit there babying a pan all day long. Like, you have 100 more pans to do, so the faster you can get through it, the better that pan is going to serve you. I'm not going to compare it to other pans. It is what it is. It works well enough. But if these were a little bit deeper, a little bit more aggressive, you could pan a little bit more aggressively. That being said, the medium, or in this case small, riffles were actually really deep and were very aggressive. So, it's a nice contrast, I guess, but I'd like to have seen these more aggressive to get through the bulk of that material faster. Because these less deep riffles, your gold can kind of migrate itself over them a lot easier than if it has to go upward. Over here, you can work over the smaller material much quicker, get it out of there, and then you have the snake skin and then the frying pan. Now, personally, again, if you did a good job on these two, you'll never use these, because once you're to that point, you're back panning. Because at that point, your gold is showing and it might float around the pan, and you do not want that floating out the river. So at that point, from here down, you're back panning anyways, so those don't matter. But at home, if you're doing a fine gold cleanup and you're really taking your time, I could see how the snakeskin could come into play there. And then, of course, the flat surface is for your super fine, really feathery working. If you're trying to clean every little piece of black sand out of your gold, that's where you're going to use those. But what I did really appreciate is the high walls that keep the water in the pan, and this nice big working area for your final cleanup. Because again, this isn't where your final cleanup is happening, it's right here. And so I like that it had this nice big area, because that lets you really work that water around, and these nice high walls make that a very easier thing to do, very, very smooth working. So I would absolutely recommend the XP pan. It may actually wind up being my primary pan if I ever lose the brawn. We'll see. I got a few others that we're going to check out as well. As for the other inclusions, again, I did like this snuffer. Very good build material, very quality. It's not one that has an air leak to it. And it's got a good suction amount forced to it as well. The other little things, the loop was cool. The other little vials were all right. They're definitely tools that you're going to need if you're out there collecting gold. You're going to want to put it somewhere. That's pretty important. Really sucks to get out there, find gold, and then have nowhere to put it to get it home. So make sure you have all those little things. They matter. Most importantly is a snuffer bottle. Worst case scenario, you snuffer it up. It's in your hand. You can take this home, clean it up as you need at home in a safe, controlled environment. But the pan is the kit is good. I paid about $34 for it. If you break that up into all the little pieces, it all works out to a pretty good value. You know, $15 for the pan, $15 for the classifier. That's about what they go for. That's a fair price. $2-3 for the snuffer. That's cool. A vial, $1 or $2. So if you break down the kit, it's a good value in its individual pieces, and as a whole, to be a tool to get you out to the river and panning for gold, it's freaking great. So I definitely recommend, if you're looking for a panning kit, or you want to give a panning kit to somebody as a gift, get them something nice. Get them something that they're going to use for years to come. Not something that they're going to want to upgrade pieces from to get a nicer version of it. Just start with what's good. And I think this XP is pretty damn good. So pick one up if you don't have one already. If you find one at your local gold show or your local gold prospecting gear shop, if they have them there, pick it up. If you find a sale online, check it out. It's not a bad pan. I definitely would recommend it. And I'm going to take it out to the river and see how well it does out there. And so, yeah, pretty good stuff. I don't have a link for you because I bought it locally. But maybe I'll point you to their website or something, and you can find one online. So, now if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that button there as well. And that way you don't miss out on any of my future videos or live streams that we do here now on Monday night. Otherwise, this is Dig Daddy signing out from the shed. If I don't see you out at the rivers, I'll catch you in the backyard. Peace.